All right, guys. Thank you for coming on to our live show here after Phoenix. It was definitely an exciting event. We have a lot of stuff to tell you in the next little bit. I have our four chase drivers with you, plus the one guy who almost made it in. As was in one of the previous rounds, we actually had a tie for the fourth place and last transfer position. And a little later on in the show, I'll get Adam to kind of reveal who made it and who didn't. So first, let me introduce everybody. First of all, Adam de Blasio is with us tonight. He is our current Rookie of the Year leader, as well as one of the guys who made it through. Andrew Fayash is with us as well, who was able to come home in second place tonight, and we'll take a look at our standings here from tonight's event here in just a second. Marcus is with us as well. He was one of the ones who tied for the last place into the chase along with Matt Bontempi. So the two teammates from Lockdown Racing tied for the last position. And first, we'll take a look at our results from last night. Not last night, sorry, from a few minutes ago. I get a little quick here. We'll take a look at them and pull them up. And you can see that Matt Busa was able to come in and take the win tonight, but it was not without some competition. As you can see, Andrew was able to lead the most amount of laps with 75. Matt Bontempi was able to come in third and get all he could to be able to tie for that last position, and we'll see if he's able to make it in here in a minute. Nicholas Ward, who's also in the chase standings to try to make it in, finished fourth, but he did not have enough to make it to the final round. And then rounding out the top five was Marcus Lambert, who, like I said, needed every point they could get to try to make it to that last, make his last chase spot. So obviously there's a lot going on there during the course of the race. There was 7 cautions and 13 lead changes, so definitely some battling back and forth and some green flag pit stops. Andrew, why don't you start us off and tell us a little about how the race went?
Yeah, we lucked out because Busa was getting some food and he missed the grid, so we had a good amount of time up front without Busa right on top of us. But yeah, it was Nick was pretty fast, especially the shorter runs, and I mean there were quite a few people that were right there on speed. William Don and Colton got up there for a while, so it was a good, fun race. It was a lot of clean battling, a lot of scary battling, but for the most part clean. The track was a little bit slick, and that was part of the fun, really. So can't complain about a second, except that it's the third week in a row I've gotten one, and I need to not do that next week.
You never know. It might be enough. All right, so Marcus and Matt, I'll let Marcus go first. And going through the night, did you have a sense of where you needed to be as far as points go? I know the both of you, I think, were either 13 or 15 points behind the cutoff. Did you have a sense of where you needed to be position-wise, and what different events happened during the race that could eventually propel you to getting that last final transfer spot?
Personally, throughout the night, really after Texas, looking at it, I sort of had like a rather pessimistic outlook going into Phoenix. I was honestly a little dejected going into this race, knowing that barring anything happen, it was basically win or you're not going to make the chase. I knew Adam or Tyler, somebody was going to have issues. So really it wasn't like nobody was counting positions at all night. Nobody was doing any of that. And then in the middle of the green flag run, I think it was after pit stops, I came out of turn 4 and I saw a car down on the inside wall, and I checked up because I thought we were going to have a caution. I thought he was sideways. And lo and behold, he was driving straight, and it was Tyler, and he was billowing smoke. And I was like, okay, time to actually take this race seriously and drive fast now and not just survive to the end and maybe hope for, a crash fest. Time to like go for every position. And then I thought it was maybe going to go green the whole way. So it was too little too late. But I knew Matt was ahead of me in the points. I had gotten a caution, or sorry, not a caution. I had gotten incidents earlier in the race on pit road of all things. And that was entirely my fault because I had no idea where my pit stall was. But I knew Matt had gotten into an incident and we didn't know who was going to be involved in the caution early in the race. So it was just a matter of like, at that point, it was just we knew there was a door opened and one person was going to be able to step through it, and we were just going for every position that we could at that point.
Yeah, Matt. And what about you? I know, kind of as Marcus alluded to, you were a little closer in points to the cutoff. You were the fifth place guy going into things, and was obviously having a very good run, and a potential caution penalty was in the balance for you. So how did you address your night as far as trying to figure out what position you were in or where you thought you might needed to be?
Well, for me, I just went into this race pretty much thinking that if I didn't win, I wasn't going to be in. And I knew something could happen, but the likelihood of Adam or Tyler having a bad enough run on their own to help me or Marcus get in wasn't going to happen. They're top class drivers, and I don't think anyone would have expected them to have a bad run unless something happened where they wrecked or blew an engine or something. So basically for me, until that point, I knew right before pit stops, I knew that I needed to do something to try and get myself in a position where I could take advantage of things if the yellow did come out or if something happened. So a short pit by about 10 laps to try and get myself what I could as far as positions, and I was hoping for a yellow. I knew I was having issues actually with my pedals most of the night, to where the pedals themselves were fine, but they would like slide across the floor, and I like a desk that had something behind it, and I was having issues getting full throttle. So off turn 2 one time, I finally had to just kind of like lift, go low on the dog leg, and pull them back, and I gave up a bunch of track position doing that, gave up a couple seconds, and I just knew I had to get it back and get myself in a position where if something happened, I could take advantage. And Tyler wrecked. My mind immediately went to the points. I felt like points were going to be tight. I wanted to know how far he could fall back. I wanted to know where he was, what he could potentially pick up if people wrecked. And I just did what I could from that point to try to shut that out of my mind and just get the best finish possible. Because at that point, that's all you can do. As much as you want to worry about the things you can't control them. So you got to worry about the things you can control, and that's the nut behind the wheel. You know what I mean? So I just tried to finish strong and was able to pull off P3. So it worked out.
Good deal. Good deal. Lastly, Adam, you were we'll get your opinion of the race real quick. You had a different perspective. You were, I believe, third going into this race. I think you and Tyler were pretty close between third and fourth. So from being stuck back there with you for most of the night, it looks like you were playing defense and just trying to do what you needed to do to get get in and get in that final round, and you were able to do so. Luckily, we've all alluded to, Tyler, unfortunately, I wasn't able to take a look at the replay, but ran into some trouble, I think, off of turn 4, and that really affected his night, and what otherwise would have been an easy, for the most part, easy way to move forward to that point. So tell us a little bit about your night and your strategy to try to hang on to the top 4 spot there.
Yeah, so it all started with qualifying. I was like, should I qualify or not? Because Phoenix is one of my worst tracks. There's something about it I don't like. I don't like Indianapolis either, but that's another story. But I was on track for a 27.3, and coming off from 2, I actually spun out, and my qualifying time was done. I waited for the last second, and that basically told me I should stay in the back, so I decided to stay in the back. Unlike these guys who really all they care about winning, I had a 13-point lead on Bontempi entering this, so I knew as long as one of the 3 lockdown drivers did not win, or Guillermo did not win, that needed to win, I kind of knew I'd be in good shape. So I did the chase clinch scenario for myself. I didn't publicize it because I felt like that was an advantage towards me if I didn't. But
secrets.
Yeah, secrets. I figured that I needed to finish 14th or better, barring one of them winning. And during that long green flag run, I saw Busa and Fayash battling for the win, and then I saw Colton and Dunn up there, and then I saw Ward in 5th. And at that point, I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. And at that point, I was like 15th. I'm like, I want one more position because I did say 14th, even though I led a lap, which pushes it to 15th. But at that point, I was like, all right, just keep going and it will all play out. And then all of a sudden, my teammate unfortunately had some sort of issue. I haven't seen it either. And at that point, I figured as long as I could bring it home, I would be in the Final Four. However, I wanted to finish up. My goal was to finish up high enough that it did not matter if Tyler crashed or not, because I wanted for myself to know that I earned my way in that way. So a 9th place finish brought it home onto the Final Four, representing the rookies right now. So should be a good one.
Definitely does the trick with a 9th place finish. That was very good. So before I throw it back to Adam for him to reveal who made it in and who didn't, obviously I mentioned earlier in the show that Marcus and Matt tied. And basically, just to kind of recap and give some context, the way we break a tie from going from one round to the next is that you take the finishing results from the current round that we're in, which would have been Phoenix, Texas, and Martinsville. And whoever has the best finish from those 3 races is the one who moves on. So we've gone back and done that, and I almost said Bontempi. And Adam has the results of that now in terms of who edged out who. So we'll go ahead and throw it to Adam to post that up and let us know who, between Marcus and Bontempi, who moved on.
All right, I bet the weight is killing you guys right now as I share my screen and minimize this. All right, so here is the final chase grid for the championship round. As you can see, Jacob Fife won Martinsville, which seemed like a month ago. Probably seems like a month ago to him because of the long race he had tonight after he got wrecked. But luckily for him, he got that win. The wreck didn't matter, and he advances to the Final Four. Second place is Andrew Fayash III, who happens to see that second place a lot lately. I can't see him right now. He's probably smiling or something, or Jacob's laughing. But 3 second place finishes will allow you to get a 38-point lead on the cutoff. It was an unbelievable round for Fayash. He couldn't have done anything better other than win, which is just a whole bunch of momentum going in. The third person that made it to the Final Four is yours truly. I finished 9th, 7th, 9th this round. Didn't have any well, I did have a few issues throughout this round, but none that would really damage my car a lot. So those consistent finishes allowed me to finish ahead of the next 5 drivers who had issues throughout their chase. The cutoff between Matt Bontempi and Marcus Lambert. Matt Bontempi, I would like to congratulate him on making it to the final round of the chase, the championship round. So this tiebreaker, I was looking at the finishing positions, and can't remember the third one for each of them, but Matt Bontempi basically got in the championship 4 on this race with a 3rd place finish. That was his best finish of the entire round, while Lambert's was 5th. And as a side note, Bontempi would have gone 3rd, 5th, and Marcus would have been 5th, 5th. So it was that close. However, if Bontempi got 4th, he would have had the point on Lambert, and Lambert would have made it in. So literally, Bontempi got in basically on the final lap of this race, which is rather impressive. Unfortunately, Tyler Herr had issues tonight. He misses the cutoff by 2 points. Ward misses it by 9 points, and Guillermo also misses it by 9 points. But it should definitely be a very interesting championship 4. Looking at these drivers, we all made it here for a reason, whether it's speed, consistency, whatever. It's going to be a good one. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. And just to reference there, Adam mentioned that Tyler Herr was only 2 points out of the cutoff even after his trouble tonight. Tyler ended up finishing 23rd without any caution points. He didn't bring out a caution. So really, all he really needed to do tonight, based on where everyone else finished, is have a top 20, and he would have been able to make it in. He's had an incredible year this year. I know that doesn't really care about it right now, but he's had an incredible year. At a couple of different points during the season, he was our point leader. So he's had a fantastic season that's come to a sooner close than he probably would have liked. But that's definitely nothing to take away from him during the course of the season. So before we wrap up tonight, we'll look ahead a little bit to Homestead, which is the final race of the season. It's been a fun season, a challenging season. And we finally made it down to our final 4 drivers who are going to be moving on for the championship next Monday night. We'll go around real quick and have a quick, maybe 20, 30-second thought on how you think Homestead will go for you, and then give your pick for who you think will win the championship other than yourself, because everybody thinks they're going to win. But just be honest. So anyway, we'll go ahead and start with Adam. What do you think your chances are? How do you think you'll do at Homestead, and then who you think is going to win the championship?
All right, so 3 questions. I think I've addressed them all right here. So looking back to the last time we basically outraced there as a group was Padrari's Winter League. If I remember right, Fayash won it, followed by Christian, one of my Blackadder teammates. And then I either finished 3rd or 4th that race. It went green flag all the way, so it's a 1.5-mile racetrack. I do enjoy running the high line and the low line there. It's one of my better tracks in my opinion. I think it's going to go well for me. I think I can get a top 5 definitely. Whether that's going to be good enough for the championship, time will tell. But the final, who am I going to pick to win it all? I'm going to pick Jacob Fife because Fayash has won the last 2, and everyone's going to pick him, especially since Bontempi's in here, and he's going to probably pick his teammate. But this is kind of a little good payback for Jacob because last show I was like, yeah, Jacob made it, and he kind of commented on it last show. So this one's for you, Jacob.
Yeah, kind of a no, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Andrew, what do you think? Obviously, you and I had a very interesting finale to the season last year here at Homestead. I think if that happens again, we'll both have a heart attack. So let's not try that. But how do you think you'll do at Homestead, and then who do you think is going to wind up with the championship?
Yeah, in fixed setups, even open setups, I usually do pretty well at the track. So I'm not, it's not as far as that length of track, it's probably my favorite. I usually am not a big fan of the 1.5 miles, but this one's an actual oval, and I actually like it there. It's multi-grooved. It's fun to race on. Yeah, I hope we don't have anything like last year either. I knew going into last year, I was thinking, I'm like, it's people were saying, oh, you'll be fine, you'll do good. I'm like, a late caution could kill it. It doesn't matter. Last year, I think I almost, actually at one point, we had such a long green flag run early in the race. I think I almost lapped all of the chasers. I think it was close. And then with a couple cautions in a row, everybody got the wave by, and there's William Dunn restarting to my outside, and you had damage, but you were back on the lead lap, and we all wrecked on the last lap, and it was so up in the air. So anything can happen. I'm optimistic about the track. I can't complain about it, but I really don't know. If I had to pick someone other than me, I would probably put it on you, because I think you are I think performance-wise at Homestead, I think you'll be the closest to potentially just winning it outright, regardless of who's there. Meaning Fife, by the way, for those watching. That's who I'm referring or picking. But I think it's so up in the air. I think that maybe your downfall, though, too, is that like the way last year's ended and you got so close after thinking you were out of it. I think you may be overly hungry for it, so it may. That could bite you. You may make one mistake trying a little extra hard for a position or two near the end, and it doesn't take much at any track, especially Homestead, to overstep the boundary there. So you never know, but I guess I would have to pick Fife if I'm not allowed to pick myself.
All right, Bontempi, what do you think? This is your first foray into the final round of the chase here with Integrity Racing League. So how do you think you'll do at Homestead? And quickly tell us who do you think will run the table here for the championship?
All right, so to be straight up and honest, I think I'll do pretty good at Homestead, but I mean, I don't think I'll do good enough to win it. I'm going to say that already, unless circumstances happen to give me an opportunity to pull a strat or take a couple people out. I don't know. If something happens crazy, I feel like I can win it, but I feel like that's pretty much the only way. I feel like I'll be in the top 10, but I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to have anything for Vayash. I'm probably going to have something for you short run Fife, if I had to guess. Don't think I'll have anything for you long run there. We'll see. And I think me and de Blasio are a toss-up. So I like the track, but I'm realistic. Like, I'm playing with house money, I feel like, making this chase and making it this far, and I'm having fun with it. So see what happens as far as the champion. I'll go 1 through 4 for you. I got Fayesh winning it. I think I know it's my teammate, but come on, the dude's awesome there. I've crew chiefed him for what now, 4 Impasser Pro races there, I think, and he's done spectacular. You can drop the wheels off it anywhere, but there especially for 1.5 miles at least. Fife, I'm putting you P2. I think you're going to do real good. I think a late caution could mix it up, and I think you could have a chance regardless, but I think it'll take, like, if we go green the whole way, I think Fayesh has got it. If we go green long run, I think Fayesh has got it, but I think if we have something happen that's interesting, I think you could get it, but you could get it on raw speed, not just strat. Then P3, I'm going to put none other than Adam de Blasio. He's done a great job this year as a rookie, and even not as a rookie. He's done a spectacular job, honestly, so I really think he can get it there. To P3, I think I'm pretty much toss up with him, but I'll put myself P4. I just not feeling great about it, but I'm just happy to be here. It's a pleasure to be a part of this league, even if I freak out sometimes when instant points get put on me and don't act like it. But just want to say thanks, Fife. Sorry for being crazy sometimes, but yeah. So that's my 1 through 4. Sorry for going too far with it, but I just had to throw that out there.
No, that's all good. All right. Marcus, why don't you kind of handicap, obviously you didn't make the cut, but just tell us who do you think will have the championship here?
Well, so far the entirety of the chase, I'm yet to make a pick, so I'm going to stick with that and not make a pick. But just as sort of a prediction thing, I mean, really, like, nobody makes this far into the chase and not have any sort of chance. So for either of you to be like, I don't have a chance, it's going to be so, it's like, get out of here. It's one race. The numbers don't matter. The wins, just throw it out. There's 100 in however many laps. I mean, obviously if it goes one way there's favorites and all of that hoopla, but like it's one race. And from a spectator point of view, and I mean, personally, I'd love to commentate it. 133 laps according to Adam. So I mean, 133 laps. That's all it is. It's not a 36 race season. It's not a 10 race chase. It's not a 3 round chase round or three race chase round thing. There's not. It's one night, 1 hour thing, one. So anything can happen. Like, so the winner of the chase of the championship could finish 25th. Like, you guys could be caught up in a wreck, turn one, lap one, and the first person to replace their engine could win the championship. Like, it could come down to that. So from a spectator point of view, I hope nobody gets involved in anything that is abnormal. I hope there's no internet connection issues or stuff like that. Personally, I'd love to see a restart with 20 to go, with 2 or 3, or preferably all 4 of you, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just brawl it out. But that's just spectator who's not involved in it, because I don't have to deal with it. And hopefully there's no incidents or cautions or anything like that take anybody out. But I mean, there's no reason any of the 4 of you can't win it, because you don't make it here without being able to do so. You can make the chase and not have a chance, but you don't make the final round of the chase and not have a chance. It doesn't happen like that. So Fife, I guess now it's your turn. What do you think is going to happen in the final round of the chase?
Look, he's already practiced his commentating. He's throwing it to me. No, I think it'll be a good race. Last year, obviously, we had what was a very interesting and very hard fought battle last year. I basically zoned out. I was pissed at myself, probably from the halfway point on, because I had completely gone off any reasonable strategy, thinking I had to do something stupid to get up and compete with Andrew. And I'd had damage. I just got my lap back, and kind of like Marcus said, anytime anything can happen in this race. It's the one thing I learned last year. All hell broke loose in front of me, and I wasn't even paying attention enough to realize that Andrew was in the grass somewhere, and that William had spun, I think it was, into the wall, and all these things had happened. And I go into turn 3, and lo and behold, the championship is literally 20 feet in front of me. So definitely learned some things. I think as far as I'm concerned, that experience from last year will definitely help. But obviously, Andrew, you're going to be very tough to beat. I think things will have to happen in order for us to be able to have a chance to compete with you on a longer run. I think some of us have enough speed to do shorter run stuff, but the longer run is going to be a handful. For one, I've already done some test laps and it wasn't pretty. But like I said, it's one race. Anything will happen. If I had to pick, I would probably pick Andrew for the championship because he has a proven track record. So I think obviously each of us have a good shot though to take it, and I'm sure we'll give it all we have to hanging out there and give the best we can. But like I said, I wish it was a shorter track we ended the season on. Might have a little better shot, but it is what it is. So we'll make the best of it and see what happens. But yeah, we'll go with Fash for the pick. Really went on a limb there, and we'll go from there. But with that being said, that about wraps up the show for tonight. So I want to thank our guests for coming on tonight, and I want to congratulate each of you for making it this far, and even you, Marcus, for coming as close as you did. Yeah, for almost making it to the final round. So thank you, Adam, Andrew, Marcus, and Matt for joining us on the show tonight. And once again, keep in mind that we'll have another live show next week after the championship round at Homestead. And we'll have some drivers on. What we're going to try to do, hopefully, Todd will be back with us. He's been having computer issues and whatnot the past few weeks, so hopefully he'll be back to run the show. And what we'll do is we'll have our Rookie of the Year, we'll have our championship, and probably the same 4 guys as far as the top 4 on. And we'll have our Clean Driver Award, the Team Championship champion, which will probably be locked down. Probably already got that locked up. So we'll have all of them on and try to get everybody on and get some thoughts and have a recap. And then we'll look ahead. We'll have one more event after our race at Homestead, and that'll be the All-Star event, which will be the following Monday night. It'll be the last Monday for Integrity for the season. I'll have a setup and who's in so far for that and how everything's going to work. And it should be a great way to wrap up the season. So once again, Thank you guys for watching tonight. I hope everybody has a great week, and we'll hope to see you next Monday night.